So my son and I have been fishing with kayaks for a few years, and there's a lot of advantages to fishing with a kayak over a regular boat. For starters, just price. I mean, they're affordable. They don't have a motor on them, obviously, and so very few things can go wrong with them. So they're just a great way to introduce kids or families to fishing. And I believe that since COVID broke loose a few years ago, that's really a time where kayak fishing took off. And the reason for that, it was just a simple way for families to be together outside. And then you add the fishing component in the fact that so many of these kayak manufacturers are producing kayaks just for fishing, and it's just a home run all the way around. We have fished with them all over Michigan, from West Michigan and up north all the way to Drummond Island. And Drummond Island is a great place to fish. It's a great place to kayak, but it's very remote, and hauling a boat to Drummond Island can be somewhat difficult. It's kind of a pain hauling it over on the ferry. And with a kayak, you can use a really lightweight kayak trailer. You can haul them on the top of a car or a truck, and you can easily transport them from bay to bay. And a lot of the bays on Drummond Island are somewhat inaccessible to bigger boats because they're shallow. And the fishing, especially for smallmouth, for example, is really good in all those bays. And so we've kind of explored Drummond Island in kayaks, and it's just a lot of fun and something anyone can do, whether they're a novice or a professional or anything in between. If you're in the market for a fishing kayak, something else to consider is a pedal drive kayak. Now, they're a little more money, but still drastically less money than buying a real boat. And with a pedal drive kayak, you no longer have to paddle around. You're using pedals just like in a paddle boat to get around. That allows you to have your hands free to grab a rod, to catch a fish, or to net a fish, or to change a bait selection, or whatever you're going to do with a pedal drive. It just makes things a whole lot easier. Yeah, they're a lot more expensive, but if you're going to take fishing seriously, especially from a kayak, it's certainly something you should consider. As kayak fishing has exploded over the last few years, there's a couple of things that have happened that make them even more fishing friendly, so to speak. Number one, the boats themselves are made for fishing. They're very hard to tip. In fact, the kayak we have, it's virtually impossible to tip as long as you're not, in 5-foot waves or something. It's made by Native Kayak, and you can stand up, you could fly fish from it. You can fish in a variety of different ways, whether you're sitting or standing. You can kind of lean one direction or another, and it just doesn't tip. It's very versatile. And then along with fishing kayaks have come many fishing accessories. Yak Attack and many brands out there make amazing accessories for attaching a fish finder to your boat, or rod holders, or a variety of different things that make fishing out of a kayak fun and easy. And as a result, kayak fishing tournaments have even popped up over the last few years, and they're taking place all over Michigan. And it's just a whole nother angle to fishing that many people haven't experienced before. Probably the greatest thing about fishing from a kayak is you can use them on almost any body of water, whether you're fishing a river or even a stream in some cases. As long as it's deep enough, you can get a kayak in it. In big water too. A lot of these fishing kayaks can handle really big water, so you'll see people on major bodies of water fishing from a kayak, and they're safe and they're stable, and they can get around up into small bays and tributaries that boats can't. And we're seeing more and more where guys are catching giant fish out of kayaks in places that big boats can't go.